Scorpio, welcome to your Astroflower reading for the week going from the 15th to the 21st of May. I'm looking forward to this week. It's a definite learning curve from the readings that I've already done for other signs. So it's going to be very interesting. We're going to be doing pulling an Astroflower with some cards, and then we're going to be clarifying with the Light Seers cards as well. Okay, so thank you very much for being here. I hope you have a lovely reading. Let's just get straight in here and see what's going on with your overall energy. Hermit card. So I've explained the Hermit in the past. It's all about sort of the journey of going round a mountain, going round an obstacle, seeing the shadow side of oneself, seeing the shadow side of the obstacle, learning every aspect of that sort of mountain, as it were. And once you get to the top of the mountain, you're so close to your dreams and aspirations, your stars, you can actually pluck that dream from your heavens that are above you, place it in that lantern and allow that light to be that guiding star going forward in your life. And then you need to live it. Then you need to gradually go down your path. You don't need to shout it out to everybody. You just need to get on and do it. And this is what it's sort of saying here. The overall energy here is saying, okay, you know where you know what you want, you know your dreams and aspiration. Let's get on and do it. This is that sort of thing. And I think with this rocky week at the moment that we look like we're going to be going through, or let's just say could well be a little bit of turbulence in regards to emotions and stuff like that, or understanding within the world. It's funny, I was talking about the moon, the moon and being made out of cheese, and I think it was in the Chakra readings, which is on our channel. And then I saw this thing about sort of why isn't anybody on YouTube, and I was just watching a bit of news, and they said, why isn't anybody taking a photograph of the landing spots where they've left the flag and everything like that? How come we haven't got any pictures of that? And did the moon landings really happen? I've got my own personal view, but, I'm wondering what your personal view is. But it's strange we haven't had any photos of, the vehicles. They supposedly took vehicles to the moon. They left them there. It's not like, they should be quite easy to see. But, it's like that sort of thing that's happening this week. Back to you. Sorry, Scorpio. I needed to get that out of me, I think. So this turbulent week that's sort of coming in is reminding you of, so you keep your dreams close to you this week, basically. Strength card. This is on your relationships. And I think because it's a turbulent week, it's any doubts you have within you or your relationships, and this could be sort of family, friends, community, partner, and anything like that. Any doubts you do have at the moment, I would quell them. It's not a case of pushing them down. The way I deal with it is if I've got a very busy week on and I don't have necessarily the luxury of time and space in order to deal with the emotional stuff that could be happening within my relationships, I kind of talk to the person and say, okay, thank you very much. I'm going to take that on board. I'll put it on a shelf and I will be examining it. And when I do have the time, that's when I will examine it. And I think this here, your karmic path here for this week here in regards to your relationships is almost being like being true to those dreams and aspirations, because those dreams and aspirations could be anything to do with your relationship or your financial sort of side or your business and your job and stuff. But here is like sort of like your karmic path here is to be strong and true to that, and to put down your doubts for the moment and live to your strengths, basically. That's what it's saying within your relationships. And you can examine those doubts at any given time in the future. But once you start going on with life, maybe you're going to get the solution for those doubts and they're going to be arranged automatically without you having to do too much. King of Swords. This plays into your air energy, which you have at your base, Scorpio. You have the 2/3 of your water is at your surface. And then you have 1/3 of the air, which is at the lower section of the Astroflower. And this is a lot of emotions built out of sort of mental reflection, in a way, mental energies. And the King of Swords is a little bit like the hermit in a way. The fact that they've gone up the top of the mountain and they've gone through a lot of judgment within themselves, and then they built a lot of knowledge through that judgment and can see far and wide and the path that is in front of them. So the universe here is trying to sort of help you to realize within your strength that you have that inner vision to see clearly for your relationships and how they want to develop, how you want them to, how you want them to develop, how you want to get the best out of those relationships that are around you. And this could be family, friends, community, as much as your partner. And in your past, you have the Hierophant. I love the Hierophant and the Hermit because the Hierophant is, okay, so the Hermit is about learning the spirit side of the obstacle. And the Hermit is about learning the mechanical side. So let's imagine you've got to get up to the top of a mountain. You see one path that is really exciting, cliffhanger sort of to go up, and you'll go up really quickly. But you also see another path which is a little bit easier and a little bit easier to do, mechanically easier to do. And it's going to provide different types of emotions, but it's going to give you the capacity to get to the top of the mountain and not have to take so many risks. The Hierophant is about that. It's a learned person, almost a teacher in a way, because they have methodical methods to get to their dreams and aspiration, that star that is in their lantern. So this is where your past and your guides are trying to help you with your strengths. And so you know that if you do one thing, this will be the result of it. So if you go, you know that your partner loves cinema, for example, and you've seen something at the cinema. If you say to your partner, would you like to go to the cinema and see this particular film? You know it's going to bring pleasure to your partner and then pleasure to you in a way. And that's that sort of thing. That's what the Hierophant understands about that mechanical aspect of creating happiness and sort of going after the fulfillment of life. And then you get the Empress. This is really, really powerful, Scorpio. You know, I didn't want to say it after these first three cards here, but it's got a lot of power in here. The Empress card here is another one of knowing. So you got the Emperor and the Empress, right? So the Emperor and the Empress have conquered their empire. The Empress has conquered their empire in very much in an emotional sort of way, and the Emperor has conquered it in a very physical way. So here we get the emotional on the Hermit, and this is where we get the physical on the Hierophant. And on the Empress card here, and I think this is what's playing through you at the moment, is that emotional way of actually taking on board everything that's going on around us. And as I say, turbulent week, that she does make clarity out of chaos in a way. She brings body, mind and spirit together to give birth to a new situation. And that is what is happening for you. You know, within you are creating a new way in which you get a satisfying feedback loop to your relationships. That you know how to orchestrate that feedback loop. It's good for them. It's good for you. It's a cumulative, evolving relationship. And it's understanding that this week. It really is. And then you finish with the Five of Pentacles. What? Gee whiz. Right, okay, Five of Pentacles. With all this power, and this is where the doubt comes in. Okay, this is where we're getting it. Okay, the doubt comes in is, this is, if it was on this side of here, it'd be all about your financial weaknesses, sort of like your loss of money and stuff like that. On this side here, it's coming out of this week, and this is what I said, there's something going on between the 17th and 19th at the end of the week, which I think is around the sort of like this sort of stage, is it's so powerful that you will, you're gonna know a lot of things about you and about how to do things. But when that becomes really powerful, the weaknesses become really powerful as well. So a chink in an armor, it's like David and Goliath in a way. You know, Goliath has got everything for have all that power. And he got, beaten by David, who was a shepherd, sort of thing. And because he had a weakness. And The weakness is that he couldn't move quickly. So David with his stone got him very quickly, because he just played to his strengths. And this is where at the end of the week, you need to recognize your strengths and don't concentrate or don't allow your weaknesses to have space. This is where you need to sort of say, okay, this is the weak part of me in regards to my relationships. I'm going to put it on that shelf and I'll explore that in time. And I think this comes out at the end of the week, really, after a very, very strong and powerful week. It may be next week you've got a bit of a lull back, as it were, a bit of a timeout sort of scenario where you can see things a little bit differently. And this is where you may see your weaknesses in the future. But I would be, at the moment this week here, concentrate on your powerful side, because it's really, really powerful. Let's see what's going on your material side. Here's your karmic message for this side. Change of fortunes. I think we've seen that within you. There seems to be a new bee in your bonnet. Like you've got the grip, the grip between your teeth, as it were. You're really, and you want things to work. And this is your karmic path now is to follow those change of fortunes. And it might be difficult to follow those change of fortunes sometimes. And they're coming in very quickly for you. I think this is the changing week as well. And this is what I said about it being turbulent. I think the universe is sort of saying, time to move on. I haven't got time to stop here. Certainly within the material world, within your job, your business and your projects. Because I think the way we function in the world may change quite heavily. The way we get involved in life. And this is going to be coming into you, which is going to give you a good opportunity, an opening of doors for your future. Look at this. This is so powerful across the board. This is mad, Scorpio. You've got the Six of Swords now. Six of Wands, sorry. So you've got a change of fortune within this card, and you've got to realise that is your path. You've got to step up to the plate. You've got to accept it. I know, Scorpio, you're not the best at, standing in the limelight. Let's say that. You don't necessarily like light shining upon you. But it's your karmic path in order to do that a little bit this week. I would take it in as it's a righteous place. It's recognition and respect for you. Recognition of the work that you've done that's been really good in the past. And you're very reliable within your business or within your job. And you're going to get feedback on that. You're going to get recognition in that. Things are going to shine on you a little bit. And then it's going to breed a lot of things. It's going to breed in a lot of success. This is what's been coming up through you at the moment, And then you get the Queen of Pentacles. Very similar to the Empress as well. She knows where she's going. This is funny because this is very much on the material side. Right? She knows where she's going because she's sat at the tree, at the base of the tree of knowledge. So through understanding and through good due diligence and hard work, you have got this security that is within your financial world, within your job and your business and stuff like that, because it's built upon good, solid work and what you've been building over time. You should feel confident about your path, and you don't have to shout it to the heavens, as I was saying with the Hermit here. You don't need to shout it out, but you will be getting quite a bit of, recognition from the world around you. But it's going to build a good bit of security where you're going to feel, confident about this recognition that you're getting at the moment. And then we go on to the Six of Cups. So what are you going to do with this? This stuff that's been coming up through you on your financial side. Let me just get the other Light Seers cards here because we're going to clarify. What you've done in the past has actually created a situation where you are stepping up, and you should find that there's more opportunities for you in life at the moment. And with these opportunities brings that sort of confidence within you. But now you've got to that stage, what are you going to do with it? And the Six of Cups is it's like sort of saying recognizing the beauty of the journey of where you've come from in life, and as with that beauty of that journey, there's some things you're gonna want to keep, and there's some things you want to let go of. And I think this could be going into this week here, as I say, it may be a bit of a timeout or a reconnecting with certain aspects and letting goes of other aspects as well from the 21st onwards. But it's like, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, as I say, for the Six of Cups, in a way. And it could well be connections with old connections that you might have within your business and your projects, which provided, really good sort of situation for you. Could be someone that's coming back into your career path, which could be a good thing, I think, because it comes through that recognition more than anything else. But also, the other side of it is I think it's a case of, where do you go from here? Where do we take it from here? Let's just see what's going on with the Hermit card. You get the Six of Cups. I think this is it. Where do you go from here? This is like recognizing, where you've come from, with the journey that you've taken with you in your financial, but also within your relationship side now, and just taking the best and leaving the bad behind, and recognizing that shadow side of the Hermit card, but at the same time recognizing the beauty of your future. The Strength card is recognized by clarified by the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands is through your own personal success or your achievements within your relationships. It's now a case of concentrating on your position and making you feel comfortable where you are. And when we see these powerful cards here, they're all singular people. There's no, here you got multiples. Okay, you got singular, multiples. But here is like, but here is very sort of singular sort of card. It's concentrating on you, basically, and finding that perfect position for you to sit in. With the King of Swords, the universe is sort of saying, stick to the plan here. Stick to your strengths. That's what it's saying here. You should be able to see clearly going through, and that's what that knowledge is, what I was talking about with the King of Swords. Now you know that, you should have a clear plan of going to the next stage within your relationships. The Hierophant, you get the Five of Pentacles. This is what I was talking about, those doubts. Those doubts of physically what you're doing. So I know a lot of Scorpios. I've had a lot of Scorpios in my life who have been very close to me in my life. And I know a lot of Scorpios as well that are really sincere friends and stuff like that. And I know sometimes the doubts that you can have within you, and that doubt sort of like an opportunity turns up and you kind of get that doubt and you kind of go, oh no, I'm not going to do it just in case it goes wrong. And I think this is where it's sort of saying, don't concentrate on your weaknesses. Know that if you want to go to the cinema with your partner because it'll spark happiness for your partner, I would do it because it's going to bring a lot for you. I think it's a case of just following the mechanics of it all, being very mechanical about it, and allowing, and I want to say throw caution to the wind, which is not really your sort of thing, to be honest, Scorpio. But here I think it's a case of, a little bit of a case of this, sort of saying, if you don't risk to lose everything, then don't worry about it. I wouldn't go all in or put all my money on black, as it were, or all my money on red. I'd spread your bets. But at the same time, it's worth a little punt, as it were. And I think that's what the attitude you've got to have. With the Empress, you get the Ten of Swords. Having control over your emotions and knowing what is going on in the world around us. And I said it was a very turbulent week, and this is where the turbulence comes in. I think through the turbulence from the outside world, I think it's a case of realizing that something is dead, done and done with, as it were, with the outside world. And yeah, it may be painful in regards to the interconnection that we have with one another, because it's if you thought one thing and another person thought another thing, there may be a case of when truth comes out, someone may have been thinking a little bit wrong, and it might be a little bit painful, sort of that interaction, as it were. But I would stick true to what you want to create in the people around you, with your friends and family and stuff like that, not concentrating on your weaknesses and concentrating on your strengths. And if you do concentrate on your weakness, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get isolation and sort of feel like you're sort of trapped out in the cold. But you have that capacity to turn this completely on its head, so it actually comes out as a really beautiful outcome for you. 9 of Cups. This is basically the choice, the two paths that open up, and you'll find which path is the most evident for you in the way you deal with your doubts within your relationships. And I think the doubts are really within you. Put them on the shelf. Throw a little bit of caution to the wind. Go ahead and just do it. Live it. And when you do that, I think you're going to realise that actually that brings, for every dollar or pound you put into it, you're going to get 10 back, I think, out of this, or 9 back. So you make 8. And the 8 of Cups is walking away from something and walking towards something. So, you just need to put your Ace of Cups into this sort of scenario. Don't worry about the outside world. It's just like a storm in a teacup. It's going to come and it's going to go. And you're going to be left standing upright and in a really good position if you stay true to your dreams and aspirations and what you want in regards to your relationships. Because I think they're going to be changed. They're going to reorientate a little bit this week. Let's go on to your material side here. The Devil. The Devil on the fortunes, change of fortunes. The Devil is a light bearer, so he brings light. So he gives you a bit of clarity about your path, about your karmic path. He also puts in there, sort of offerings as well. It's almost like the 7 of Cups. He puts in offerings there as if to sort of say, like to tempt you to follow a path. And this is where the temptation, he doesn't tell you to go down this path or the other path. It's ourselves, when we confront, when we're connected or confront the devil, we then, trespass against ourselves. It's not the devil. The devil is just there sort of saying, oh, look at all these opportunities. You chose that one, did you? Sort of scenario. That's what the devil's like. And it's being a little bit obsessive. I think you do need to be a bit obsessive. And this is the good part of the devil. It could also be the bad part of the devil, could be sort of like addiction and possession and controlling and everything like that. I don't think it's that. I think there was a certain degree of control that you should have upon your life, most definitely, of where you're going. But the devil here is almost being, you've got to be obsessive about the path that you're doing and being very passionate about the path you're doing. I think it's going to really, if you do that and you're a bit sort of like, you're blinkered in a way in regards to the material world, jobs, business and project. If you do that, it's going to provide a lot for you. You get the Chariot clarified with the Chariot. It's going to come in very quickly. The universe is bringing things in very, very quickly for you, Scorpio. And this is the changing in the society around us, that you're going to be really well positioned because you've got that sort of, human rights sort of aspect to you. You want it to be human rights. You want it to be fair and square, scenario. And I think this is where your change of fortunes is going to be in a really, really good way. It's going to... The Magician. It just goes from strength to strength, Scorpio. What the blazes is going on? That's my American accent, just in case you just get it. That's as good as it gets. I'm sorry about that. With this newfound recognition, it's going to sort of say, it's going to put you in a position where you can actually start manifesting the next level. And that's what I was talking about here. I think this is what you're getting to. I think you're understanding that these are steps you need to go through in order to progress on your projects or your business or your career path. And you can then start having a lot of control over it because you're starting to manifest it, because you're really concentrating on where you're going. With the Queen of Pentacles, we've got the Four of Wands. So going from one dimension to another, a celebration, a unification. It could be with the fact that you've united your business with another business. It could be a partner within your business that you're bringing in or something like that. It could also be getting that job, that security, or getting that pay rise or that pay rise or promotion. And I think this comes into that recognition, and it's going to come in quite quickly. It's going to bring certain responsibilities to you, but I don't think you'll shy away from that at all. I think you'll be very, very good at that. And it's a bit of a solitary path that you're on here. But it is a path that you need to do in regards to your career or your business or your projects. As it will bring you a lot of security and happiness all the way. 10 of Cups. With that 10 of Cups, it's like happiness after difficulty. And I think that difficulty was way before. And it could well be happiness as well after the turbulent times that we're going through. And this 10 of Cups is that recognition. It's almost like so you got the 6 of Cups here. It's this person daydreaming about that lifetime that they spent with that dog, as it were. It's remembering all the good times they had as kids together and how they grew up together and stuff like that. This is a sort of thing this is the old tarot. So basically, you've grown these flowers together and you're passing it on to the next generation. It's a realization how beautiful the intergenerations are and how beautiful you are and what you had to go through in your generation and how you grew to where you are. And it's almost as if like you're in a luxury position and watching others go through this sort of 6 of Cups. And you're getting to the stage now where you can actually take the best out of that 6 of Cups and just add it on to you. So you go through sort of, everyone goes through difficult times in life at some given point. And through those difficult times, you've actually taken the best out of that. And now you've got the 10 of Cups. So there's a real sort of within your financial aspect, within your job and your business and stuff like that, you've had to put in the work, and that work is, I think, from the past. And it's putting you in a position of authority and leadership where you can nourish or nurture, people coming up through the business, the younger generation that are coming up through the job. So, you'll have people that are working underneath you, for a while. As you progress on, they will progress on as well, and helping to form them and help them create them as well. If you've been having difficulty of getting a job, it looks like you're going to be in a position now where you've actually confronted things, you've learnt a lot, and now all of a sudden your change of fortunes are happening if you concentrate on it, and you will get that job, and that's what comes out of it. It doesn't matter which way you turn it. It's certainly a step up for you within your material world. So, yeah, there you go. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. The worst thing is, the moment I start sneezing, I end up doing like 11 sneezes. So, I do apologise. I'll try and get this finished before I start sneezing like a dang. Okay? Within your financial and your business side, it's definitely keeping your eye on the goal, keeping yourself really focused. I think you're going to do really well this week. It's a real step up opportunity for you. There is definite possibilities if you are actively involved with everything. On your relationship side here, the relationships are always difficult, to get it perfect. They're never perfect because we're dealing with emotions and stuff like that. But here, I think, is staying calm and realizing that you're creating a new connection with people in a different way, that you understand a certain mechanic to that relationships, and don't worry about getting it wrong. If you focus on the weaknesses or the weak parts of any of your relationships, it may cause you sort of problems in the going future. If you realize that everybody and everything has its own weaknesses that can be dealt with in time, and that's fine, it's going to build you in strength, and it's going to make you feel like you're really working it well. Okay, so actually it's a really beautiful reading for you, Scorpio. Thank you very much for being here. Don't forget, we will be doing those live readings on Veritas Tarot with Victoria's channel. She's linked in the description below. And I think that goes out on the 11th, Sunday the 11th of June. At you'll get the full details on Victoria's channel without shadow of a doubt. Go over there, see the work that she does there. Absolutely brilliant. And subscribe to her, so then therefore you can ask questions whilst we're doing the live readings. In the meantime, Scorpio, thank you very much for being here. And I will see you soon. In the meantime, don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy.